Hey, this is Nitesh, and in this video, an interesting thing is coming up. How to use Amazon Developer Console. We will be building Alexa bot. Just look at the demo.
Hello. Welcome to the Learn Live. We are creating our first Alexa bot.
Now, to start with, just go to developer.amazon.com, this link, click on Alexa. I will click on sign in. I already have an account, so I will sign in. You will have to sign up before using the Amazon Developer Console. So I'm just putting my credentials here. Log in. Click on create Alexa skills as we are going to create one Alexa bot. Register your application. Now give the name of the project. Creating skill is nothing but giving the name of your project. So this is your project name. Make it learn live. Just create skill. It will create one project. Now we need to give the name of that skill. So for that we can select first Alexa. Click on create skill. Now before creating skill, you need to select some models. Click on this custom model. Now this option is for your backend support. So what backend resources you are going to use? I am selecting Node.js. If you are interested with the Python, just select this one. Or you can provision your own backend resources. I am going with this Node.js. Now click on this create skill. It will take some time, about a minute, to create the Alexa skill. Now we need to select a default template. So I'm selecting Hello World skill. It is already selected. Just click on this and then continue with the template. It will take some time as it is hosting the base application with some by default codes. Then after it is hosted on the application server, we can make some changes in the code, and then we can instruct Alexa how to behave as per our code. Now this page will appear. You will get 3 pop-up messages at this place. Just remove it. You can concentrate on the builder checklist here. You can see. The first one is the invocation name. Invocation name will invoke your Alexa. For example, in echo dot, we use the word Alexa to invoke the Alexa and then start communicating with it, right? So let's create one invocation. Click on this. Just give any name to invoke your Alexa. I'm giving it Learn Live Invoke. Exactly. As in the backend processing, every letter is converted into the small case. That is why it is not allowed to put any uppercase letter. Let's check it. Or just Learn Live. Okay, save the model. Now you can see the interaction model. Just click on this interaction model, go to intents, just add some intents. Click on add intent, enter name. So invocation is the first point, then comes the intent. Intent is the way to communicate with Alexa, right? So just you can create many intents as per your requirements. So my first intent is Learn Live create custom intent. Now this intent will get invoked on some utterances, so just create live. What is, so this intent will get invoked on all these utterances, so we can create many utterances to invoke this intent. So we can create many intents at a time. Now on these 3 utterances we can invoke this intent, so you can add many here. Just go and save this model. It is saved. Now we have created the invocation, the interaction model, we have covered this intents. Now go to the code. Now it's the programming thing. Go on top. Just remember the name of the intent that you created. So we have the intent. Now we can go back to your skills. Oh sorry, so this is the skill name and then invocation name. So this is the invocation and what intent you had created. So check that, just go there. The intent name is learn live. What you can do, just go to the code section. This is the by default code that we had created at the back end. If you remember, we had created one template for this hello world intent. So this is the by default code that has been generated. Just go down. Now we are going to write the code for the intent that we had created. Now we are going to write one method for that. So just go, we are going to write that in NodeJS. So just the name of your intent, start with, this is just the naming convention. We should not follow, that is not must, but we should follow some naming conventions while writing the code. So starts with intent name, learn live, then intent handler, then use the can handle method, this is the by default method that we have. Just pass the handler input, just save it, keep saving it because it can log out. What we are going to do, we are going to return Alexa the request. We need to make a request to the server, so just use the Alexa class and then Alexa dot get request. So because we are getting the request type, so this is the request type, what kind of request we are sending to the Alexa. So we will use the handler input for this, use handler input and then just request a envelope. So dot request envelope is equal to, now you need to give here the value as intent request. So you can pass the intent request here. Now in the next line, what you can do, we can return two value if the intent request is made, if the request has been made and it is same as the intent that we have created. So and the second thing is Alexa dot get intent name. So the intent that we had created, we will get that intent name what we had created and we will get that using the handler input, because whatever the input that we are providing for that, we have the handler input here. Dot request envelope again. So if this intent name is equal to the intent that we had provided, so add just we had copied in the last, the intent name is learn live which we had created. So this would be the intent name that you had created in there. So just put the intent name learn live here and then what you can do, just close this can handle method. Now if this is getting handled, we can create this handle method with the handler input and then const speak out. So this what it does, if this is learn live and there are many intents that we had created inside these intents, many utterances we had created. So if that utterances has been used to communicate with the Alexa, then what communication this Alexa must do with the user. So if any utterances come from this learn live, then we can speak out certain things that is coming from the Alexa. So let's try. So this could be hello, welcome to the learn live. We are creating our first Alexa bot. So when any utterances from this intent is coming, then Alexa will respond with this message. So this is the message that Alexa will respond. That is clear. Now we just return the handler input as a response. So this handler input will give a response builder. Then what we can do, dot speak. We need to speak what? We need to speak this value, whatever the value that we have assigned in the speak out. So speak output. So this is the speak output variable that contains this value, this string value. So we are passing in this the response builder, so that the response that we will get from the Alexa is this string, this message. So now just call the get response method. That's it. Now we are done with this. Just now once we have written one method for that, just save this. Now once you have done some changes, just copy this intent name, this event intent handler, this method name. Do not forget to register that. So where we are going to register, just go down at the last, this handler, add it here and put one comma. Do not forget to put this comma after registering your intent handler name. So this is the same method name that we have copied, learn live intent handler. Then we are going to register it in this handler. So this needs to be exported. That is why we are exporting these intent handlers, so that we can run that code. So just save. We have saved it. Now after saving this, what you can do, you can, once it is saved, just go click on deploy. Now we are deploying the changes whatever we have done on the application server. So after getting the deployment success message, we will test our code. So the deployment is successful, there is no error. Just go to build. So now our checklist is done. Invocation name, intents we have created, we have built the model. So to build the model, just click on anyone, just interaction model I click, go to intents. You can see this option, build model. So we have our this intent created, learn live, which have 3 utterances created, and then we are building this model. So whenever this thing will be called, it will call the code, the intent handle, because we have binded this intent with our method. Build is in progress. Once it is done, we will go to test this application, the intent that we have created. So now you can see the build has been successful. Now just go to the text section, go to test. So before testing this application, what we can do, just make a small change. There is spelling mistake in the method. You can see it's make it handle. Just again save it and then deploy it. Every time you make any changes in the code, just save it and deploy it before testing it. And you can see this is the code for just one intent. You can create many intents like this, and you can put the same code, just copy this code and paste it below, so that it could be handled by different intents. For different intents we can have this different name. Just change this name and the handler, add handler to that. So this is just a naming convention that we have. So it is deployed. Just go to test section, and then now we are going to test the application. For testing it, you can see testing is disabled, so go to this, put it in development mode. Now we can test. For invoking any application, now we need to start the application. So as you remember, we had a set one invocation point. We had given name learn live as invocation, so that is the invocation point of our application. For example, in echo dot we say Alexa to invoke the application, then we further communicate with the Alexa, right? So in this case also, we are going to invoke the application first, then we will communicate with that. For invoking that, we have learn live as the invocation point. So either you can type here or just hold this make and speak learn live, so that the application gets invoked. So I am just on my make. I will try to communicate with my laptop. So just say learn live.
The application has been invoked. What would you like to know?
Okay, now you can see the application has been invoked, and the message has been popped out. Now the application, after invoking the application, what we are going to do, now we had created intent. If you remember, we had created intent, and within that intent we had utterances. That means if we speak out any of those utterances, we had created 3 utterances. If we speak out any of those 3 utterances, it will invoke the intent, and that intent was handled with a method. If you remember, in the coding section we had handled one method for that intent. So just we are calling that intent with the utterances. Now just hold this make. What is learn live?
Hello. Welcome to the Learn Live. We are creating our first Alexa bot.
Now you can see that intent has been invoked now. So the first step is to invoke the application, then invoke the intent that we had created. So just go to the build section. Just remember this, what is learn live we have used here. Just go to the build section. Just check the interaction model, the intent. Now you can see we had created this learn live intent, and within this learn live we used this expression. So this was the utterance that we used to invoke this learn live, and then we might have used anyone, learn live or hello learn live. So these all utterances will invoke this learn live. Now this is binded to the code section with the method. If you see, we had written code for that. This is binded. So this is the intent name that we had created, and this method get invoked, and this was the message coming from the Alexa. Hello, welcome to the learn live. We are creating our first Alexa bot, right? So this is the flow of the execution of your program. Now if you want to create, you can create many intents in this application. Just create one intent in the build section, copy this code, and then paste it as many times you want. Just change the name of the method with the intent name. So we had learn live as one of the intent. If you're creating with your name like David, then just change it with David intent handler, some XYZ intent handler. then change this intent name with the new intent name that we have created, and then change the messages. Now just one thing that you need to know that is very important, and that is reprompt method. So what exactly reprompt method does? So reprompt method add a reprompt if you want to keep the session open for the user to respond. When we communicate with Alexa, it remains on. If you want to do that, then just use the reprompt method. The session remains open so that you can communicate further. For that, reprompt, this is a method, so just give the parenthesis and then dot. Because we are calling these methods in sequence, and if you want your Alexa to go off after communicating, then just do not put this method. That's it. So that's it from this tutorial, and just I explained the whole flow of this execution and how it is communicating. Similar to that, you can have many intents, but just remember to differentiate the name of two intents should not be same. And then you can create different intent handlers. Just register that in this export section, and yes, you are good to go with this tutorial, and then you can create your own Alexa bot. So thanks for watching.